everyone, welcome to Weekend Box Office News, where we look at the eternal overall box office number. We have it. This weekend was very interesting box office wise. Many people were looking at eternal box office number to see if it's gonna do good or bad. Although Marvel did heavily advertise this movie, and this movie cost to make $200 million, and it is directed by Chloe Zhao, Oscar winner director Chloe Zhao, and this movie unfortunately got Rotten Tomatoes score. First time in history Marvel movie got that, and the domestic number for this movie is quite huge. Let's be honest here, $71 million it ain't bad. Of course, it didn't beat Venom's opening box office number. So far, nothing can beat that number, looks like, except Spider-Man No Way Home. So after this number, I look at it, although it didn't do well at the domestic market, but when you look at the international number for this movie, it's quite impressive. It is just behind Fast 9, which opened to $163 million. So Fast 9... Fast and Furious 9 is, I guess, still the number one worldwide box office champion, which is pretty impressive for, these movies are huge, Fast and Furious movies. I really love them. So for Eternal to do this great on a worldwide box office number, like the international number, is so good, pretty impressive. It did quite well in Korea and some other Asian market. I think it did really well. So it's not going to open in China because of Chloe Zhao. She said something about them, and the government over there has banned this movie. So I'm guessing this movie will do well on video demand over there. So this movie, of course, the first Marvel movie to have this much diverse cast. Look at this cast, is absolutely amazing. Although I finally have seen this movie. After seeing this movie, I understand all the box office number. Although this movie is really, when you see it, it's a lot to unpack. For my personal opinion, I think the story is really a lot to unpack. When I was watching it, I was like, should I get a pen and paper to write down so I don't miss something? It is like that. First Marvel movie to come out, so dense. Many people are saying it's really dense when you watch it. There's a lot to unpack here. Although some of the character in this movie, they're so good, but some of them disappear in the movie. So doing this number at the domestic number, like $71 million, I still say it's a win for Marvel, because Disney, because this movie is 2 hours and 39 minutes long. It is a long movie, almost as long as Avenger Endgame. And Avenger Endgame is like, after 20 movies, it was a conclusion story here. And this movie, you can thank to all this box office number, all the cast, honestly, because many people are going to see this movie because of all the cast. Because overall, this movie is overwhelming, a lot to unpack, but still entertaining. I wouldn't say like as entertaining as other Marvel movie. Many people don't like Captain Marvel. I personally think Captain Marvel, the movie itself, it was entertaining when you watch it. The Captain Marvel character wasn't interesting. That is what people should say when they're reviewing this movie. I think people mistaken the Captain Marvel movie versus the character, because the character wasn't as charming as they should be, especially when you were watching a superhero movie. That was that movie's problem, but still Captain Marvel was entertaining. It made $1 billion at the box office. This movie is also, it is entertaining to see this movie, but I think I would love to see this movie on my TV and on Disney Plus. That is what I think I should be watching this movie, but when it comes on Disney Plus. And that is I think that you can see the box office number a little bit low than the other Marvel movies, simply because this movie is a little bit it's for a little bit older audience, because there's some scene you cannot go and out to see with your kids. So there's many things you have to think about. I am sure many people out there will see this box office number and they will say this movie is failed. No way, you look at this number and you see this movie failed at the box office, because I don't think so. I think it did okay number, or they didn't do as great as everybody hoped. But when I think about the movie itself, it's, that is I really think Marvel audience, they're not, the Marvel should not be like the Marvel audience, how do I say this? Like the Marvel audience, they don't want like Joker from Marvel movie. You know what I mean? Like the, because whenever DC makes movies like Joker, people go out of their way to check it out. Although people love that movie. I know many people don't like, because I think that many people, when I say, I think all the kids, they didn't like this movie because that movie is, although it is Joker, but it's still, it's a lot to unpack. I love that movie. Joker, but it's not for everyone's piece of cake. But when they made that movie, it made $1 billion. I think Kevin Feige probably saw that and he thought, why don't we do something different? People will go out and see that. Well, I still think Eternal can do well at a worldwide market. Let's see what happens next week. So I don't think it will do great at the domestic market. That is what I think overall. Anyway, that's my thought. Let me know in the comment what do you think about it. And if you enjoyed my video, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to leave your comment and please take care.